I had a good introduction with all of you, and you are from the diverse platforms and diverse. Um, so, but the common thing is that the embedded system is the common thing. So, whether it is the electrical, whether it is electronics, whether it is your computer science, whether it is your mechanical, civil, so all the places there is a requirement of the introductions of the microcontrollers are where comes the embedded systems. So I can say that any of the electronic product where there is a small, even a smaller level of intelligence is there, because the electronics product is there, so there will be a power requirement, and even a smaller of a intelligence is there in that product. So there is a microcontroller inside, and it becomes an embedded system. And the second part is that nowadays we have everything connected nature. So we want everything to be a source of a data, and not only for the monitoring or the control purpose, but for the analytics purpose also. And that's where the concept of IoT comes in. So whether it is your a room light, which you want to turn on or off through your mobile phones, or maybe through your voice, or sitting remotely from any of the place, to the big plants where we have the implementations of Industry 4.0 and industrial IoT. All of the places there is seamless, the Internet of Things are there, and the level of implementations are different. So that's where the need of a learning is, that whether you are doing a consumer-centric designs, or is it the industrial design, or it is the enterprise level implementations which you are doing. And based on that, the implementation levels, the learnings and the platform changes. So from the top of the view, it seems it is the embedded systems and IoT, but behind of it, there are lots of platforms are there. And what happens that as you are developing the system, so you select some of the platforms, and those platforms must be industry ready. There are the platforms who might be for the academics purpose or for prototyping purposes. Thereafter, there are the platforms who are for the industrial implementation. So there are the selections that you need to do as you are doing the projects, that which one platform should I select for my projects, and the platform should be applicable for the further projects and the further implementations also. So all these things that we cover in this program. So starting from the knowledge on the microcontrollers, thereafter the peripherals, thereafter how do you develop the projects, how do you select the things related for development for the projects, how do you make implementations on the different platforms. If you have developed the thing on one of the platform, how you can port to another platform. So all these things that we cover in this. And we cover extensively the PIC microcontroller. So we are actually, and you must be knowing that Microchip is one of the largest semiconductor company who is providing the microcontrollers. And in 8-bit domain, Microchip is the leader, and it is since last 20 years, it is the leader. So our programs are around Microchip PIC microcontrollers, and we are the authorized training partner with Microchip also. So that's whatever we deliver, that comes authorized from Microchip, the boards, the controllers, everything that we use. And in the 32-bit domain, we have the SAM microcontroller. So you must have learned about the ARM controller. So the ARM cores from Microchip are called the SAM. And so for 32-bit domain, we have the SAM microcontrollers. We have different durations of the program for according as per the suitability and as per the needs of the students and the working professionals. So in the end of this, I will be let you know that what are those durations of the programs and what are the different contents that we provide to you, and how do you do the hands-on also, because the embedded, until and unless you don't do hands-on in the embedded systems, so there is a no meaning of it. So it is a completely hands-on program that we provide through the means of online tools. So just starting the session, I start with this gentleman. So you know that who is this gentleman is and what he has observed. Who this gentleman is and what his observation says. Any answers? Okay, I tell you. So he's Gordon Moore, and he is the co-founder of Intel. Now you know him. And there is a very important observation he has made, and that has been told in the name of Moore's law. So this describes the very important trend in the history of IC technology, and that exponentially the number of transistors, every microcontroller, once we are learning about the embedded system, so actually it is the microcontrollers are playing the role. And in the video you can see that there are the development boards are there on which there are the microcontrollers. So these are the microcontrollers, and as you are working, so you must be knowing that what those microcontrollers play a role in embedded system. So this microcontrollers are the IC, and they are made up of transistors. So Gordon Moore has made an observation that the number of transistors is exponentially doubling every 2 years. Now the rate of growth is little slower. Now it is 1.5 times, and it was first observed in 65, and this is still true. But what this observation means and why I am talking about this observation in your session. So this observation is very true and very effective for whole of the electronics world, and that's what you see. What the trend of today's electronics is towards the portability, towards the smaller the size of the products, towards the smaller the size of a components, and having lots of technologies and functionalities. Just compare your older days transistors or radio devices toward the newer generation of your phones, where we have the FM, we have the audio player, we have the video player, and everything in this smaller device. So one device can serve a lot of purpose only because the platform is increasing, the IC capability is increasing, and we can do lots and lots of functionalities in the same device. So it has affected whole of the world in terms of the sizes. So from your older generation computer, which was there in a whole room, to the laptops or mobile phones through which we are communicating as of now, to the computing speed of the devices, where the a first generation of the computers, and if any one of you have worked on maybe the P2 and P3 computers, and before that there was on which we have also worked is X386 computers. So you give the command and thereafter just forget off. Maybe it would be taking hours to get the processing to be done. And in today's world, if the program, if you have opened a program and it doesn't open within some seconds, you just throw away your laptop that it is running a slow. So that's what the speed that we have to the technology. So for your first generation of the phones to the touch technology today we have, that's what the effect that we have got with the increment into the IC technology to the functionalities. So device is one device is not only a single device for the communication, like just for your PDA and mobile phone device. So the mobile phone was there earlier only for the communication purpose. Then it comes the SMS, and then it is the internet communication, so mails and other organization features that you can do. But now the same device can collaborate with the other, like here in the image that you can see, and this has been done recently in the during the COVID time, that we were short of ventilators. So one company has come and he has collaborated the mobile device and the tablets with the ventilator devices, and the display of that ventilator device was coming on the a tablet. So drastically the cost was reduced, and the collaborative computing paved a way for the multiple utilizations of the product. So that's what the functionalities enhancement that we are having due to the growth into this IC technology. So what does it mean, the increment of the processing speed? So electronics is fastly changing with the processing speed. The memory capabilities are increasing. The system development time is becoming very low as of now, and we have the lots of developed hardware platforms, and using those developed hardware platforms only we need to write the firmwares, and our system development time becomes very low in that case. So, and secondly, that a lot of stacks are also developed. So you have to only focus towards the development of your application codes, not the extra things, as many of you may have worked on the Arduino and the Raspberry Pi platform. So you can see that the library files are already written, and you have to just focus towards the application codes. There are the pros and cons of all of this, but that's not the point of discussion as of now. It is the growth potential that I'm talking about, that how it is reducing the system development time and the prototyping's time. Thereafter, with this help of evolution in the IC technology, we can have multiple functionalities within the single device. And the nowadays we have the features of the SMT components. So smaller the size of components, and that is leading to the smaller the size of the devices. Portability is increasing. SOCs and SOCs and modules, the system on chip and system on module, SOCs and SOMs are increasing day by day. And that's how you also don't have to deal with the hardware of the controllers. So already the modules are made, and you have to just use those modules. You have to implement the OS around it, and you have to use those modules in your application. Don't have to look into the nitty-gritties of the PCB design for the controllers, the level of EMC maintenance, the EMI maintenance, everything. Nothing needs to be taken care of. It is already been there in the SOMs, and just you have to take care of your application PCB and the application design side. But at the same time, it has increased the complexity and the design and development process, and that's why a specialization into the learning is required. Earlier, the embedded system development job was in the hand of engineers only, who were into the domains of like only 2-3 people team was there. One PCB design guy, one hardware design guy, and one software design guy. But that they all were doing the system designs, because systems were thought to be of only the uh, standalone system designs. But now the embedded systems is not only the standalone, but lots of communication in there. And there is a requirement of communication with the other embedded systems. So multiple embedded systems can communicate to each other, like in your vehicle, in your car, in your any of the home application. So lots of systems are communicating to each other. Just I take an example of a car. So your ECU unit is there. You have the that has the control for each of the components of the car. There is the uh, gate of the car is there. There is a window rolling is there. So all of there the sensings are happening. And if the window is rolling up, and you have put a hand in between, so that window rolling will stop, and either it will go down or it will just stop at a place. If you have given the ignition to the car, and still your gate is open, so then it will let you know that the gate is open. If the car is stopped, and then if the gate is open, so you don't get a signal. So it means what? Both of the systems are communicating to each other. The ignition systems and the car gate is communicating to each other. And if the conditions are not satisfying, so you are getting the signals through the means of the ECU unit. So that's why the lots of communications are there. And if such a communication requirements, and there is a requirement of multiple domains of engineers to work together. So that's why the management of team and communication becomes complex in the development of the system. And that's why it is increasing the complexity in the design and development process. Though we are having lots of easy tools now, but still handling with those tools and handling the process is a typical one. That's why the specializations are required in the embedded system development now. And there is a domain-based embedded system designers are required. Are you from medical? If the company is developing the medical instrumentation, so specifically the medical electronics based professionals would be a preferred one. If company is developing consumer electronics, so then the professionals having the knowledge on the motors, or thereafter the process control equipments, they will be preferred on. So there are the certain skill sets in each and every domain that is required if you are working in the embedded system domain is. So that I will be discussing. But before that, this evolution in the IC technology has opened a huge market for the new low cost and high volume of intelligent products, and that you can see around you. So starting from the decorative light, which you use in your homes in any of the festival, that might you get in the 40-50 rupees in INR, to the spacecrafts. So there is an intelligence at all these places, and there are the embedded systems all the places. So it creates a huge demand for the electronics professionals and engineers throughout. And at the same time, there is an explosion in the firmware needs of the people, because in every of these product there is a microcontroller. So for that you need to write a firmware, and there is a high explosion in the firmware needs for these products are. And it is not only giving a huge demand for the firmware people, but also the SMT technology is there. So lots of good electronics design and assembly professionals are also required, who can handle the SMT machines, who can handle the CNC machines, and can design good PCBs, can design the smaller PCBs with less noise. So these people also have the requirement. So it is not, if embedded system is thriving, so it doesn't mean only the microcontroller professionals are thriving and required, but it is giving the opportunity to the other professionals also. So I can say that the coming age is of software driven microelectronics. Are you ready for this or not? So that's what the question is. So if so, for that, these things learnings are required. So here, I'm just giving you a segment-wise idea of the where all these electronics are there. So if there is electronics, and there is intelligent electronics, so there the embedded systems are there. So starting, if you can see that the most of the electronics that is being used in your mobile devices and the consumer electronics devices. Thereafter, it comes to your IT and office automations, then your automotives, strategic. So take any of the domain, there is some or more level of electronics is there, and it is the electronics. So the embedded system is there at this place. So any of the domain, as I have told you in the very beginning, that whether it is a medical, whether it is a defense, avionics, chip design, power tools, automotive, everywhere there is an embedded system. And that's why there is a requirement of embedded system designer in all these companies. The embedded system in itself is not a domain. You will not see any vacancy like this, that we require embedded system designer, but you will see the job descriptions like from the companies that we are working in this domain, and we require the professionals with these skill sets, and those skill sets are actually matching for the embedded system professionals skill sets. So like if you are in a medical electronics domain, so here it starts. Yes, so it starts from the chip application. Like, so if the company is in a chip application, so these are the companies, that the few of the companies which I have named over here. And the roles in these companies are like, it is the design engineer, verification engineer, the technical sales, the project manager. So these are the roles that you have. And this is having the amalgamation of embedded systems and VLSI both. So in the chip design company, you have the both of the people have the role. If you are a VLSI engineer, so you go towards the chip design and the manufacturing side. If you are an embedded system engineer, then your job is to develop the field application codes for the microcontroller. So like any company is making a new microcontroller, so the stack related to it, the development of a stack, thereafter the field application codes related to that microcontroller, all these things are done by the embedded systems designer in the chip design companies. And you should have the knowledge on the analog and digital electronics along with FPGA, SA6, Verilog, and EDA tools. If you will see any openings, or if you are looking towards the automotive companies, So the names, good names in this are the Robert Bose, the Continental, Delphi, Honeywell, Volvo, and the required skills for these companies are, along with the knowledge of the basic electronics, you should have on their knowledge on the C and C++. Then it is the microcontroller, and specifically the controller protocols. There are the protocols specific for the automotive domain, is like it is the CAN and LIN protocol, then AUTOSAR protocol. Thereafter, it is the most bus protocol. So nowadays, entertainment systems are there. So there is a most protocol that has been followed. So these are the specific protocols related to the automotives companies. If it is the consumer electronics companies that you are looking at, so in all the consumer electronics companies, all the products that you see in around your home and all the products which you use for your lifestyle comes under the consumer electronics. So there is the requirement remains of the software and hardware engineers. Thereafter, it is the system testing engineers, the technical sales, the team lead, all these engineers are there. And here, apart from the knowledge on the electronics and the programming for on microcontrollers, you should have remain knowledge on the mechanical aspects also, and this AC/DC motors handling, the solenoid handling, the PID systems handling. All these knowledges are required because these things are used in the consumer electronics company. So which type of skill sets you are developing, based on that there are some common skill sets, and thereafter there is some specialized skill sets are required for working in the specific a group of companies. So some of the domains here I have mentioned. There are the other domains and there are the lots of other companies only. Here I have taken only the few top level domains, which is covering almost the world of this embedded system. Medical instrumentations is now a very big evolving thing, and lots of companies are entering into it, from the startups to the big level companies. And there is a more and more requirement on the and modeling side that is required, because what happens in case of the many of the medical instrumentations, testing in a real time becomes very typical, and most of the time you don't get the real time data also, or you have to predict for the longer run of the systems, because that is directly remain concerned with the health of the people, the life of the person. So how your system will behave over a longer time period. Like for example, you are making any kind of systems for the giving the mouth pressures, or maybe for maintenance of the heart rate of any of the person, or for the ventilation purpose. So what are the problems that might come with your system over the usage of the time period. So those things that need to be predicted, and that's why the modelings are done in the MATLAB, and then the systems are implemented. Here, lots of mathematical calculations and PID controls are also being used. So that's why the DSP systems, apart from the microcontrollers, there is the DSPs are also being used. So either it is the 32-bit microcontroller or 16-bit microcontrollers can serve the purposes. So these were the different domains. Here I'm giving you one of, so that's what I was talking about, the embedded systems. Now there is one more domain evolving nowadays. It is the mechatronics that you see. So mechatronics is the fine combination of the mechanical and electronics, and there is also the much uses of the embedded systems and microcontrollers are there. So here I'm showing you one of the bot that has been developed by our team for the government of India, Bell Laboratories, and this has been used for the uh, this is been used for rescue and the monitoring purposes. So this is a spiral robot, as you can see, the snack robot it is. And on top of this, there is a camera here. So on the head of this here, there is a camera, and you can move this robot either through manual means, or it has the autonomous movement also. And like any of the building collapses or any of the debris are segregated in the case of the collapsing of the buildings or any of the place. So this robot can move toward into this into that debris and can find that if any living person is there or what are insides there. So it can spirally move here. So you can see that multiple uh, this has this spot has the multiple blocks. So these are the multiple blocks it has, and all of the blocks having the microcontrollers who are communicating to each other for the smooth movement of this robotic body. And then on the top of it, we have the camera and main microprocessor board, which is transmitting the a captured image to the central control room. So what two things are required while you are doing the embedded system. So embedded system is not just a thing that is learning. Just by learning, you can't do good in the embedded systems, because with the help of the embedded systems, you get a fine control over the hardware. And once you have got a fine control on the hardware thing, so now you can play with it. In and unless it is not innovation that you have. The innovation is very much required for the working in the embedded systems, be excellent in the embedded system domain. So innovation and learning, those two things are there. And innovation is always thought as an absurd at the first, and then once with the help of your learning, you implement the things. So then world takes your name. So just an example, like how many Google Assistant nowadays, many of you are using the your phone as the Google Assistant for searching many of the things, and not only for the searching passive applications, but also you are doing turning on and off your lights and fan applications in your home. So these things that you are doing for controlling of the IoT applications in your home and the offices using the Google Assistant. So, but the first time the person who have thought that Google could be used for turning the lights and fan applications on and off was an absurd idea, because Google was thought of only for the search engines and for the computer based applications. But then this person has thought about it and he has implemented, and now all of us are using this Google Assistant for developing our applications. So it is not, it is this innovation that leads the way for each and every development, and with the help of learning.
Okay, Google, lights on, please.
Shivaji.
Okay, Google, lights off.
Shilsaji.
Okay, so this is a one consumer-centric application. Is any one of you have made any such kind of thing with the help of Arduino platform or something ready available platforms? Any one of you have made something like this? Using your voice to control the appliances in your home? No? So what are the new trends that is there in the embedded system? So as we are talking about the industrial systems design, so the focus of this program is towards the industrial implementations of the embedded systems and the IoT systems. So what are the things that is a new trends in the industrial systems are? So first and foremost, it is the communication. So either it is based on the internet, or it is the Wi-Fi, the BLE, wave, CAN. So communication is the very new recent requirements, and it will be covering all of the embedded system world. So that's what the requirement. Thereafter, tagging, that is again come into the picture, the RFID tagging. Thereafter, USB communications, the data logger systems, LoRa is very much required nowadays because we have to do the wireless communications over a longer distance. And in case of a normal wireless applications, the lots of power consumption is done. So we have, because now the systems are going to be a battery powered, so we don't have remain enough power available. So LoRa is a protocol which is long range and less power that it takes. So LoRa is very a common and required protocol for the walking, and we deal it in the industrial embedded system program on this. Thereafter, M2M communication and process level managers in embedded system, the IoT, touch and gestures, and embedded AI. So these are the recent trends in the embedded system domain. And domain wise, if I'm asking, so a smart city is, and these all things have the implementations in these smart cities. Thereafter, your AI system designs, the sensor networks, the robotic control systems, power to, and tools and tolerances, and automotive electronics and electric vehicles. So these are the research domains that is there much. The tools that we use, like specifically we are working with the microchip, so the MPLab XID that we use, and this is thrivingly. Apart from this, on other platforms also there are the IDs are there, and those IDs could be used. And hardware tools, so the development boards, like you can see in the video, we have the development board for each and every peripheral, the external world peripheral. So hardware tools that is being used. For simulations, we have the MPLab Sim, and then it is the Proteus simulators, the industrial level simulators that we use. For the cloud communication, so we use the Google and Microsoft cloud for the enterprise level implementations. And there are the multiple dashboards that we use for the IoT applications like Adafruit dashboards, thereafter your Node-RED dashboards. So these are the consumer-centric applications, and for enterprise level implementations, we lead you towards the Google and the Microsoft cloud applications. For the machine learning and for voice-based system designs, and for the AI and ML algorithms, once it comes in the industrial IoT, so we are using the Watson platforms. So for simulations, we have the Proteus, the OrCAD, and Altium Designer tools. These are the industry-ready design and simulation tools. All the industry uses it for the analog and digital simulations. And this is the same which you use in our training programs also. So approximately of 95% of accuracy of your firmware that you get on these tools. And then you port your things on the hardware. So thereafter, for the cloud and IoT base, so if it is the voice base, so third party IFTTT tools. Thereafter, your ThingSpeak, Adafruit, Node-RED, Firebase. So these are the dashboards that we use, and based on which you can develop the applications. And this is being used for both of the purposes, for the consumer centric designs and for the enterprise level designs. Thereafter, for the cloud, as I have told you, and this program is totally or towards the PIC microcontrollers. So we take from the 8-bit to 32-bit of microcontrollers in this program. So from PIC 16F to the SAM microcontroller that we take, and for all of them, the development boards are provided for the practical purposes. The microcontroller, the why PIC? Because it is most used in the industry for design and development purpose, and specifically in APAC region, if I'm talking. So this is the largest selling microcontroller is there. It has the a wide availability of tools for the student purpose and for the commercial purposes both. And for students purpose, there are lots of free tools are also available up to a certain limitation. The licensed versions are there. Then we have the lots of online tools also available, so that you don't have to always be dependent on your desktop or laptop residently. You can use the cloud-based tools and can develop your applications. Supports is very good. The all the kind of support is there. The peripherals are inbuilt. So microchip is leader in the peripheral domain, and that's why it is named as a PIC. So just I share you the story. So earlier there were the microcontrollers like 8051, you must have heard of. 8051 based microcontrollers were there, and it was dependent on the von Neumann architecture. and there were very few of the peripherals were inside the microcontroller. So General Electric has taken a project for developing a microcontroller where the peripherals would be inside. The peripherals I'm talking about, it is the system peripherals that you use, like for the timers, the ADC, the serial communication, the parallel communication. These are the things that is called that is called the peripherals. So internal resources of the microcontrollers also these are called. So earlier for all of them, there were the semiconductors that is used outside. But Electric has started this project to put the microcontrollers, to put the peripherals inside the microcontroller, and engineers were working on it. But after some Electric people thought that this project is not going to be true, and the engineers who were working on the project left the company and found this microchip. And in next 2 years, they have developed such microcontroller, which is made up on Howard architecture, having the peripherals inside. And since then, this microcontroller, they have named it as a PIC microcontroller. And since then, it is the leader in this market because as you have the peripherals inside the microcontroller. So what the benefit that you get, that you don't have to attach lots and lots of semiconductor chips and the devices on your board. You can see that this is the motherboard of this PIC microcontroller, and we have very few of components on this, only some resistors and capacitors for the power management. There is no extra devices added, and it is doing the task of programming the chip and handling the multiple peripherals onto this. And this also has the capability to directly communicate with the USB, directly communicate with my PC, and on IoT also. So this is the very small. So this is the how small this board is, and this is having the IoT capability, and it can act as a complete a server for your enterprise level implementation. So this is a ARM SAM based board. So this is the power the internal peripherals give, that we have the hardware inside. So you only need to work towards your firmwares, your softwares, and you can do lots and lots of things with your microcontroller. So that's what the leadership concept is. So this was it related to the introduction for your embedded systems and the growth and the tools and technology that has been used. Now related to the program. So what are the programs that we have on offer in this? So I just give you introduction to that first, and then I will come to the access of our hardwares and the demonstrations. So this is the industrial internship program, and as of now, the program is running for 6 week and 12 week durations. 24-week program batch is going on, so there is no admission right now for the 24-week program. The admissions through the 6 week and 12-week program is being taken, and it is a live instructor based training program. So sessions will be live at the time, and you will be provided with the video libraries, the notes, the ebooks and codes, snippets, everything is provided to you. Thereafter, it is the 100% practical oriented program it is. So training on live hardware is provided, and that hardware is put over here and you will be having the access to this hardware through the means of a cloud. So we are using the cloud development ID, and using the cloud development ID, you can remotely work with the hardware with the help of the faculty available. The training contents are as per the requirement of the industry. And there is one more thing, is that after the completion of the program, we run 4 times in the year the interns. So interns are being taken on the project. So with the program, there is a compulsory project that you have to do, whether you do a 6 week program, or it is the 12-week program or a 24-week program that you do. Along with the program, you have to compulsorily do a project. Apart from that, if you want to work on more projects with us, so we conduct the internship tests, and if you get selected in our internship test, so you can work on our consultancy projects also, because we have in-house R&D, and we have lots of consultancy projects going on for our clients. So you can be part of one of them, and you can get the stipend on all of them. Thereafter, the project is concerned, so it is not a small project, and the project could be of your choice. So after the completion of the project, you have a choice to choose your project. Maybe it is your own project also, and you can develop your project. You will be get the complete mentoring on the project from our side, and you develop that. And training and projects, everything that is conducted on these development boards, which we have designed in-house for the purposes, and you continuously get support from us in this. So we have two durations of program, as I have told you. So it is a 6 week duration of a program. So if you are maybe you have just passed out, or it is the in your engineering, it is, so you want to get the first hand experience of the embedded systems and IoT. And so this is a 6 week program is designed as per that, where we have the contents are for the introductions to your embedded systems, the electronic, the design architecture, the microcontrollers, and here the 8-bit microcontroller PIC16F887 is being taught. So that's the latest in the 8-bit domain is there, or having all the peripherals. So that has been taught. And we work on the MPLabX ID, the cloud ID, and the flow code for the graphical programming also. So it requires the programming through the C language. And if you are not very much comfortable in the C language, so there is a flow code tool that we use. So using the flow code tool, you can start writing through the flowchart programming, and then can come to the C language programming. So that's what we use. And for the 32-bit for the IoT, here we are using the Espressif microcontrollers for the IoT applications in 6 week program. And regarding the peripherals, it is the timers, thereafter the interrupts, ADC, PWM, EPROMs for the storage of a data, and then it is the communications. So all sort of internal peripherals that is required for the working with a microcontroller that has been taught in this. And related to the external peripherals, so the displays, the sensors, thereafter your LCDs, in the video you can see the 7-segment displays, the relays, contactors, buzzers, solenoids. So all these things are being taught. Related to the IoT, it is the consumer-centric applications design that has been taught in the 6 week program, where you can learn developing the BLE-based applications, the BLE 3.0 and 4.0. Thereafter, Wi-Fi based application designs that you learn. Thereafter, it is your voice-based application. So as you have seen that the Google Assistant based control system. So you can design any of the application, and people have developed the projects over here. Who has, I will just show you that the student has developed a complete home automation project using his voice. It has the real-time clock for setting up the timings and the alarms. Thereafter, the turning the illuminations of the bulbs dimming, thereafter turning the things on or off at the particular intervals, and then based on the mobile based control. So these all things that has been done. Thereafter, in the cloud communications, the Google Cloud that has been taught in this. And you have to do a project after the completion of this program. So the project will be selected by you. So if you have some idea about developing any project, you want to develop any of your own choice project, so you can take that project. We will give you the complete mentoring. Or otherwise, if you yourself don't have any project idea, so then with the help of the faculty, you can formulate any of the IoT project and can work on the same. So this is the delivery mechanism. It is through the live hardware access mode and continuous evaluations that has been conducted. Hands-on, each and every session has the hands-on. There is a structure of the sessions are there. For each of the sessions, there is the hands-on is there, and the major project that you have to complete. And then it is the trainings certifications are dual for the training and for project both. The development platform is for PIC16F microcontroller-based development platform and Espressif development platform. It is a 6-week live interaction. 4 week is specifically kept for the project in after the completion of this 6 week, and 1 year of a continuous support that we give you. So after the completion of the program, you keep working on the things, and you face any of the difficulties, you can always come back to us, and the support that is being provided, and you get the industry internship certification into this. The another program is a 12-week duration program. So if you want to get a good proficiency on the design of the industrial level of embedded systems and the IoT systems, where the enterprise IoT is also concerned. So this is a 12-week program. Is here we have the platforms of a PIC16F, PIC18F for the USB implementations, then the SAM microcontrollers, which is a ARM Cortex M0 based platform. So these three platforms that we use through the C language. The programming is all done through the C language and C++. And all the peripherals of the microcontrollers that is being taught over here. So whether it is the ADC, PWM, comparators, filtration, so everything that is. Thereafter, it is your serial communication, communications, the external world peripherals like your LEDs, the switches, the sensors, the text LCDs, the graphical LCDs, buzzers, motors, everything which is there in the embedded system domain, that is being taught in this program. So you can deal with any design after learning these contents. You can design any of the embedded system without any doubt. In the wireless, so we have the enterprise level of the IoT implementations are there. So it is again the topics are the same, but implementation level is at a higher end. So here the complete cloud implementation of the enterprise level. So what it is the enterprise level is, so it is like you are doing a consumer centric application. So there it is just using your phones or voice, you can just turn on or off the devices. There is a not much of a security that remains concerned, and there is a no much authentication levels that remain concerned. But once you are doing the enterprise level of IoT implementation, so then we have multiple layers of a security that needs to be implemented. And in case of enterprise, you see that in your offices or in your plants, there is a token-based Wi-Fi systems are being implemented. So how do we design such kind of IoT systems where we have the authentication tokens and then communications are done? So all these things are being covered into this. Thereafter, the IoT security is there in this 12-week program, where we let you know about the secure boot, updations, and encryption mechanisms, and then the TLS and encryptions application layer security. Again, you have a project into this, and project is a mandatory part of this program. And it is the online live sessions again into this. Two mini projects are, and one major project is there. Again, certification is there, mandatory for it. And this is the platforms that we use here is of the PIC16F microcontrollers, the 18F, and then the microchip SAM platform that we use. Specifically in this program, we have a certification from us, and then from the microchip certification is also provided. So as we have the authorization, so after the completions of the program, there is a one evaluation is conducted from the microchip side, and based on that, you are getting the microchip certification also in this 12 week of the program. Here are some of the testimonials of the people. So people from, we conduct this program for all the time zones. So people have been attending this program, and definitely they have found it good. So they have written some testimonials for it. So this is the hardware access is that you can see, and this is the right side below. You can see this is the a flowchart based programming. So you don't have to write the C code. Just by doing the flowchart based programming, you can develop the application. And this is an industrial level tool that for the flowchart based programmings. Then it is the C code programming. So it is the MPLAB ID that it is being used. So this was it related to the details of the programs, and you will get the email with the details of this of both of them, and as per your requirement you can choose a program. And related to the hardware, as I was talking about, so you can see here are the some of the boards you can see on the display. So this is our development board. So like this is a PIC 16F development board. Here is some devices are connected as of now. So in this, using the PIC 16F, there is one cell is connected, lithium ion cell is connected over here, and the data is gathered, the voltage is being gathered. There is this USB development board that you can see. So we are connected this development boards through the means of USB. Then we have the SAM development boards for the practice, and there are lots of auxiliary boards are there. There is one more thing that I forgot to tell you, that if in this 12 week of a program, apart you get a free hardware set also from our side. So this development boards you see, so these develop some of the development boards you get as a free gift if you join a 12-week program into this, so that you can practice at your end also. And this is a PIC32 based development board, so it is having the touch capabilities and all. And related to the software, so this is the MPLabX ID, cloud ID is there, and in this we can program seamlessly from anywhere. So you can access this from any of the part, and this is the ID that gets connected from any of them, and then through these hardwares, this gets connected. So we are having this PICkit 3 development tool, and then it gets connected to it. Like if you want to work on this also, I can share you. So what we do that if you want to open it at your end, so I'm just sharing the link. I have shared a link in the chat window. And if you are on a desktop, not desktop or a laptop with a good internet connectivity, you can open this link and you can view this code in a real time. Right now, you will be just viewing it because you don't have an account on this cloud ID. Once you will have the account on this cloud ID, once you will be in this program, so we provide you an account on this cloud ID. So, or if you have created earlier, maybe, so you can do the real-time updations in the code, and in a real time, this hardware can get programmed with the help of this tool available. So if you are on a laptop or a desktop, you can try opening this a link. Is anybody opening the link? Okay, good. So do you see some code over there? So here is what I have connected the. Good, thank you. So if you wish, if you know, so you can do some kind of updations into the program. So at your end, with your, once you have the account, so you can do some updations into the code. And again, you can, if it is the generic embedded system program, so once we don't have this IoT communication, so you can just connect with the Cloud ID directly, and the program would be transferred over here. Like what I have connected the board over here. So you can see that I've connected the a tool, this PicKit 3 with this board, and the program could be transferred over here. And once it is the IoT program, so then we have the firmware over the update programs. And then you don't have to connect this PicKit 3 also. The IP of this board would be given, and you can do the programming. So okay, so this is it. Thereafter, related to the USB development, so you can see that this USB bridge is got connected over here. Once we will be doing the programming, so then this programming tool also gets connected, and we can work on the same, and we can do the program. As of now, this is taking the voltage. You can see here the voltage is of this cell is getting red. So here the lithium ion, this is a lithium ion cell, which is the maximum voltage, nominal voltage of a 3.7 volt. So it is 3.628 that is being red of this in the lifetime, in the life. And then this is the a USB board, as you can see. So this USB has the, so lots of devices that you make around you, that is for the communication over the USB cable, or maybe through the mass storage devices. So this is the a USB custom device is the board here, and we are having this connected. You can see this one LED is just toggling. So it is the, you can see there is a one LED that is toggling, and then with the help, so it means that the board is connected as per the program. And then we have this custom control board is there. So this is the software is there for the communication with this board. So you can develop this as custom softwares also. You can write it. And like I want to turn on or off certain LEDs with this. So just by passing the command. So here I have given the toggle LED. And if you can just see the one more LED on this board has turned on. If I will just give the command, so for turning it off, so you can see that in real time the LED gets turned off. So it means what it is, it just seeing that it is a LED is turning on or off. But actually using this, you can control any of the device to the means of the USB. So this USB communication is there in the 12-week program, and you can learn to work with the various USB devices and develop the program based on this. You can connect any of the sensors, and then you can get the data from the sensor on this USB device. And like 32-bit microcontroller board that I can show you. So it has the touch interface. So this is a, this has the touch interface. So using this, you can, there this is a board which is for the home automation. Actually, this board is designed for the home automation purposes, and it can act as a server for your home automation. So there are the controls, that the buttons are here. So these, through the buttons we can control the any of the peripherals. And then it is the uh, relays, the LED controls are there. Thereafter the port controls are there. So this is the demo board, and this same board could be used for the once this RJ, you can see there is a RJ45 communication is there. So once the RJ45 cable that is got inserted, so it comes on the live it comes on the live Ethernet comes in, and it can be working as a complete board for the home automation purposes. So these boards are being used for the application purpose, and you can develop the applications based on these development boards in this program. Related to the course materials, like the uh, contents and the e-notes which we share. So just showing you that what it is. So here you can see there is a one chapter that I'm showing to you. So related to the computing systems and digital overview. So this is the notes have been provided as part of the learning. So each of the sessions, there are the notes are there with the details. So after the lecture sessions, so how the sessions are there. So the sessions are around of 2 hours, 90 minutes to 120 minutes. The sessions are. We have the half an hour around the introduction to the theoretical concepts of the topic, and then it comes the hands-on. So with the help of the faculty, there are the programs that is there into this, and you have to develop the programs for each of the peripherals, and with the help of the faculty you implement them on the hardware and get a testing of it. So it takes around 90 minutes to 120 minutes for these peripherals as per the sessions are planned. And like for it is a 6-week program, so total of 18 sessions that you get. And in a 12-week program, so it is for each week we have the 3 sessions. So 18 into so it is 12 into uh, 12 into 336 sessions that you get in this, apart from the support sessions that keep running on throughout the email supports and the year long support that keeps running on for you. So these are the things on offering related to the embedded systems and IoT. So for 6 weeks program, it is for the first time starters and for the college students specifically been designed. If you are looking for the job into this embedded system design, or for the career perspective, or for the industrial implementations you are looking at, then suggested one is to go for the 12-week programs. Regarding the fees for this program, so for 6-week program, it is, yes, there is a job assistance is been provided with the 12-week program from our side. So first it is the uh, projects and the internships that are always available from our side. And apart from that, we give you the support in getting the job in this 12-week program. In the domain of, it would be either the consumer electronics domain, IoT domain, or electric vehicles domain, all these places that we support. Any more questions you have? Okay, so thank you for being the nice audience. Uh, hope you have liked the deliveries and would like to join the session. So we have the session starting now, then it will be next month will be there for the 6 week also. But 12-week session, this is the 12-week session that we are planning as of now. So if you are looking for the industrial implementations, it is no, sorry for that. The cost is there for the training. The job assistance is provided as a part of a training. So you can avail the EMI payment options. That's the in the 3 months that we can do. But there is no such policy for the job achievement payment after the job achievement. Thank you. So I'm ending the session now, and you can, if you have any queries after this session, also if you have anything in the mind, in the doubt, so this is our WhatsApp number, and you have been communicated onto this, so it is 965. So on this you can always connect to us. You can write us email at this, and any of the time we are ready to support you for this. So thank you for being the nice audience. I'm ending now. Hope you have enjoyed it. Uh, good evening to now, everyone. Thank you.